Hello viewers, the US needs minerals for electric cars. Everyone else wants them too. For decades, a group of world's biggest oil producer has held huge sway over the American economy and the popularity of US presidents through its control of the global oil supply with decisions by the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries determining what US consumer pay at the pump. As the world shifts to cleaner source of energy, control over the material needed to power that transition is still up for grabs. China currently dominates global processing of the critical minerals that are now in high demand to make batteries for electric vehicles and renewable energy storage. In an attempt to gain more power over that supply chain, US officials have begun negotiating a series of agreements with other countries to expand Americans' access to important minerals like lithium, cobalt, nickel, and graphite, but it remains unclear which of these participation will succeed or if they will be able to generate anything close to the supply of minerals the United States is projected to need for a wide array of products, including electric cars and batteries for strong solar power. Leaders of Japan, Europe, and other advanced nations who are meeting in Hiroshima agree that the world relies on China for more than 80% of processing of mineral leaves their nation vulnerable to political pressure from Beijing, which has a history of weaponizing supply chains in time of conflict. On Saturday, the leader of the group of 7 countries reaffirmed the need to manage the risk caused by vulnerable mineral supply chains and build more resilient resources. The United States and Australia announced a partnership to share information and coordinate standard and investment to create more responsible and sustainable supply chain.